congratulate all the other inductees here this evening, and also thanks to the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame Committee, not only for the honor you bestowed upon the boys, but for the outstanding job you've done in establishing this museum to preserve our baseball heritage. Now, I just want to stop here for a minute. I got a letter a couple of months ago with instructions about my speech. And of course, the main one was don't talk too long. Well, so I thought I'll send it away. And I sent it away, and they come back, and everything was good except for a couple of changes. One change was, if you remember, I just finished saying, to outstanding museum you have established. Well, my first thing I had put down for the outstanding museum you have erected. Now, I was just told, maybe use the word established, because due to the aging of our committee members, the word erected might be a little offensive. So anyway, I'll carry on. The players, no doubt, would like to thank so many people for helping make this induction possible. Their parents, their coaches, the volunteers, the fans, and Legion 98 Gilbert Plains for their sponsorship. And I think too at this time the players would also like to recognize the 5 coaches who are no longer with us here this evening. Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame coach Mel Stoughton, Brian Lynch, Les Ager, Bert Hiron, and Lewis Turner. And also the players who are no longer with us, Bernie Maluga, Randy Curry, Larry Legoski, Blaine Hiron, and Larry Stotsky. Yes, it was an outstanding achievement for such a small community. Although most of the boys were from Gilbert, we cannot overlook the outstanding contribution players from other centers provided during this incredible run that began 52 years ago. I have done a little research and would like to share a few of these highlights with you. In 1965, they won their first Manitoba and Western Championship. They won the Manitoba title, defeating Russell, Oak River, Holland, and Shoalik in the finals. In the Westerns in Prince Albert, they compiled a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. The final game ended up being a 2-day event. The game was called off in the 2nd inning due to rain, and a lot of work went into preparing the diamond for the final 5 innings the next day, resulting in the boys not returning home until 2 o'clock in the morning. And much to their surprise, they were greeted by a large crowd, estimated at a little over 200. Lunch was served at Coach Mel's drive-in, and to top it all off, the town band was out. Can you imagine how happy they must have been that he'd blown their horns at 2 in the morning? And anyway, in 1966 was a dominating year, winning again both the Manitoba and Western Canadian titles. In Manitoba, they disposed of Laurier, Minnedosa, Biscarth, and Elm Creek. In the Westerns, they went 3-1, bringing their regular season and playoff record to an amazing 39 wins and just 3 losses. In 1967, Gilbert entered 2 teams, one in the Bantam B and the other in Bantam A, with both teams winning the Manitoba Championship. On the playoff trail in Manitoba, the Bantam A's defeated Dauphin, Hamilton, Rivers, Brandon, Morton, and Winnipeg. However, the Westerns did not go as well, but they certainly would make amends the next year. Meanwhile, the Bantam Bees won the provincial title in dramatic fashion, defeating Brandon in the 3rd and deciding game in Clear Lake, 9-8 and 2 extra innings. Earlier, they had defeated Rivers and Hamilton. They traveled to Lethbridge for the Western Canadas, where they were defeated in the finals by Lethbridge, and get this, to an all-Japanese team representing Alberta called the Sandseas. It's probably the Tokyo Giants they brought in. But anyway, they say good pitching will prevail over good hitting. This certainly was evident in the 1968 Manitoba Bantam A playoffs. In Game 1 of the semifinals, 2 outstanding pitchers went head-to-head. Gilbert Plains' Blaine Stoughton and Brandon's Rick McFadden. Gilbert took Game 1 4-2 as Stoughton struck out 17 and allowed just 2 hits. McFadden had 13 strikeouts, allowing just 3 hits. In Game 2, Gilbert eliminated Brandon, with Blaine Stoughton striking out 18 and registering a no-hitter. In Game 1 of the finals, between Winnipeg, it was Stoughton and Winnipeg's Barry Melnick combining for 33 strikeouts as Winnipeg took Game 1. In Game 2, the ball was turned over to a young fellow who was from Dauphin, played with Gilbert Plains, Ken Bushy, now living in Verdun, and he kept Gilbert's season alive with a 5-0 win with 13 strikeouts. In Game 3 in Winnipeg, Barry Melnick had 15 strikeouts and allowed just 2 hits. Normally that would have been enough to win any ball game. However, Blaine had other ideas as he threw another no-hitter, striking out 21 of the 23 batters he faced, and to rub injury to insult, scored the only run in a 1-0 win for Gilbert Plains. From there, they went on to win their 3rd and final Western Canadian title, and just as an added note, many of those boys graduated to the year, and again won the Manitoba Championship. In closing, I would like to thank my wife Linda for helping me in locating all these players from Ontario to British Columbia and down into the United States, and listening to their reactions, such as, "Are you serious? I don't believe it." Well guys, yes, I was serious, and as you can see, you can believe it. I know that each and every one of you at some time in your life have had something given to you, only to have that something taken away from you. Well, tonight you've had something given to you, and that something is an induction into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame, and this is something that can never, ever be taken away from you. Congratulations. Right, tone it down here a bit. Okay, we're going to call the boys up to receive their individual trophies. Our first player up, he was a victim of that Japanese invasion, member of the '67 Manitoba Championship, and Western Canadian finalist, Jerry Agar. He was a co-coach of many of these teams, and was Les Agar, and accepting on behalf of Les will be his son, Glenn. He was a member of the 1965 Western Canada champions and '67 Manitoba champions, Herb Andres. A member of the 1967 Manitoba championship team, Larry Belloc. He was a two-time Western Canadian champion and a '67 Manitoba champion, Ken Bushi. A member of the 1968 Western Canada Championship team, Wayne Church. He was a member of the '65 Western Canada Championship team and the '67 Manitoba Championship team, and unfortunately, at the last minute, was unable to make it here this evening. Rick Crosby. We'll just leave Rick's trophy there. He was a member of the '65 Western Canada Championship team and '67 Manitoba Championship team. It was Randy Curry, and accepting on behalf of Randy is Audrey Kotick. He was a member of that '67 Manitoba Championship team and Western Canada finalist, Lloyd Frickus. And another member of that '67 Manitoba Championship team and Western Canada finalist, redo this again. He was a member of the '67 Manitoba Championship team and the '68 Western Canada Championship team, Ken Gorin. Member of that '67 Manitoba Championship team and Western Canada finalist, Guy Yilko. He was a member of the '65 Western Canada Championship team. It was his big key hit in extra innings that got Gilbert Plains into that championship game, Norm Johnson. Another member of the '67 team and Western Canada finalist, Mervyn Kotick. Member of the '65 and '66 Western Canada Championship team, Dennis Kotick. He was a member of the '66 and '68 Western Canada Championship team, Larry Lagoski, and accepting on behalf of Larry will be Evelyn Murray. He was a three-time Western Canadian champion, Albert Lynch. And this next person was a co-coach and manager of all three championship teams, Brian Lynch. And accepting on behalf of Brian will be his daughter-in-law, Barb Lynch. Member of the '66 Western Canada Championship team and '67 finalist, Bob Marcinuk. Our next player, too, was supposed to be here tonight, but for some reason did not make it. He was a member of all three Western Canada Championship teams, Ron Matisio. Just leave Ron's there. And he was a member of the '67 Manitoba Championship team, Mervyn Mitchell. He He was the two-time Western Canadian champion, 65, 66, and 67 Manitoba champion, Billy Murray Jr. He was a member of the 65 Western Canada Championship team and 67 Manitoba Championship team, and awarded the top pitcher in the 65 Western Canadian finals, Tom Poopsie Semchuk. He was a member of the 65 Western Canada team and 67 Manitoba Championship team, Blake Story. He was a member of the 65 Western Canada Championship team, Larry Stotsky. Accepted on behalf of Larry will be his son, Tyler. He was a member of all three Western Canada teams and leading batter and top pitcher in the 68 Westerns, Blaine Stoughton. And accepted on behalf of Blaine will be his sister, Gayleen. Another member of that 67 championship team and Western Canada finalist, Gerald Stoughton. He was a coach of all three Western Canada teams, and he's a member of the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in the Billard category. Coach Mel Stoughton, and accepting on behalf of Mel will be his daughter, Karen Todderan. He was a member of the 67 Manitoba team and the 68 Western Canada Championship team, Dennis Staccato. He was a member of the 65 Western Canada team and 67 Manitoba Championship team, Ken Sully. And another one of our co-coaches on all these teams was Lewis Turner, and accepting on behalf of Lewis will be Merv Todderan. He was a member of the 67 Manitoba Championship team and the 66 Western Canada Championship team. He was the leading batter and RBI leader in the Western Canada's Bob Urbanowski. He was a member of the 1966 Western Canada Championship team, Ken Youngston. And our last player was also, like the first player I introduced you, a victim of that Japanese invasion, a member of the 67 Manitoba Championship team and Western Canada finalist, Tom Ewell. Ladies and gentlemen, there they are, your 5-time Manitoba champion and 3-time Western Canadian champions, the Gilbert Plains Legion Band. Here's Albert Lynch. Would you come forward, Albert? Albert's father was a member of all those 3 championship teams as a coach. And Albert, it says here, presented the Gilbert Plains Legion Band. So on behalf of all the boys, we'd like you to accept this. I figured there was, I didn't see it. Congratulations.